Hey everybody, Luke here. And before we film today's interview, I just wanted to take a couple quick seconds to thank our sponsor today, which is Foodland Glovertown. And without your sponsorship, Foodland, these videos would not be possible. So I just wanted to say thank you for your sponsor. It's greatly appreciated. And without further delay, let's get right into the interview, shall we?
Hello everybody, Luke from the Diamond House here, and today I am joined by Sandra and Bruce, or as you may know them as Sandy and Bruce Live on Facebook. And how are you two doing today?
We are awesome, Luke.
You are awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on here to kind of talk a bit about yourselves. And
we appreciate you having us.
so I'm curious to know, how did the two of you start performing together, and like how long have the two of you kind of been performing here on Glovertown for?
Well, Bruce and I met probably 15 years ago, I suppose, in Calgary. We both lived in Calgary then.
Oh, no way.
And Bruce was a guitar player, well, multi-instrument guy. And so anyway, we had hired him a few times to play in our band, play guitar and so on and so forth. So from that point on, maybe a couple years later, we started playing together, and we've 15 years?
About that,
yeah. Yeah, and we haven't looked back.
So you two met in Calgary. Are you both from that area? Are you from the Glovertown area? So how did you get from Calgary here all the way out to Glovertown?
I know, right? Well, I lived in Calgary for 20 years, and I moved home about 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't say that Glovertown's home.
Yeah, Glovertown's home for me, and BC is home for Bruce.
Oh, what part of BC are you from, Bruce?
Kelowna.
Kelowna? I'm a huge Canucks fan, so I love BC. It's a beautiful province.
It is.
And so you're from Glovertown, right, Sandra?
Yes.
And I noticed you recently just released a brand new album in December called Take Me Home, correct?
Lead Me Home, yes.
Leave Me Home, sorry about
Yes.
that.
My new gospel album. It's a great album. I have 4 originals on there, and the rest are just old traditional gospel songs. But it's a great album. And if you don't have it, they're in all the stores around Glovertown. Go get it. You'll really enjoy it.
It's also on Spotify and
Yes.
iTunes, correct? Yeah,
Yes.
fantastic. So
Yes.
people can even pick it up digitally.
Yes.
So, and I seen you kind of filmed the music videos for that at the Glovertown Church, correct?
Yes. United Church in Glovertown, yes. Yeah, which is my church I grew up in.
So it, I guess Lead Me Home is kind of the
Yes.
reference to Glovertown here.
Well, yeah, it's the title of my, one of the originals on there, Lead Me Home, and I wrote the song, so it's, yeah.
So is gospel music kind of your go-to genre? Like, is that kind of where your favorite type of music is, or?
You know what? I don't have a favorite type of music. I love everything. I love from AC/DC to gospel. I'm a, I love country, I love rock, and I'm not a one that don't like specific music, I'm open to anything.
So you're a jack of all trades when it
Yeah.
comes to music,
Yeah,
right?
and I sing all types.
And speaking of jack of all trades, that's gonna bring me to you, Bruce. You play multiple instruments, do you?
A few, yeah. Yeah, been at it ever since I was just little. Grew up in a musical family, so you either have to rebel the family or you have no choice. You play music. So I've been playing all my life. Half a dozen instruments or so that have caught my interest enough to put the time in. It takes time.
Do you have a necessarily favorite, or?
Yeah, that one I suppose. Acoustic guitar is probably, it's very organic, right? You can play it anywhere as long as you got strings, and you don't need amplification. You can play chords and bass lines and melodies all on the same instrument, and yeah, it covers it all.
And speaking of guitar, you do teach lessons, correct?
Yeah, Sandy and I do adult guitar classes, which we did in this building for quite some time until our COVID thing happened, and we've been out of business, so to speak. But we're about to finish the class that we're doing right now. We have 2 more weeks to do it, and then we're hoping to bring our class back into this building because this is where we want to do our adult guitar class, and I do private lessons as well.
Well, I'm certain that the board members here would gladly take you back.
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
no
Well,
problem with that.
this is the home for our guitar class.
It's not that, it's the COVID stuff and the rules.
Yeah. So,
So we miss it.
kind of speaking, going back to COVID, did you start the Sandy and Bruce live page as a way to still, entertain the people here during COVID, or?
We did indeed. A friend of mine, she does it as well, over a friend of mine in Twillingate, and she said, you guys should be doing a show, because we missed playing, right? Because we, that was our living. So anyway, Bruce and I started, and we did, I think, 15
or 14, yeah.
15 live shows, and we're just talking about getting back to it. I was busy doing my album, so I kind of held off for a little bit, but we're ready to get back at it again now.
So are you going to continue, doing those live videos, or are you looking to go back into more of a in-person, performancing now? Or?
Well, I hope
Oh,
be in
yeah.
person, but for now, until we can, we'll stick to the internet and do some live shows.
So fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, get our life back in order.
Okay, and are you currently going to work on any new albums for now, or do you have anything up? Do either of you have anything up and coming this year, or?
Well, I am in the process of writing new songs for a new album. Yes, I will continue. I'll always keep working towards that. I'm not sure what the next one's going to be. Maybe country, or I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided, but I've been writing anyway. It's been coming along.
I spend a lot of time mixing right now. I'm mixing an album for my brother, or with my brother. So that keeps me busy in the basement at the controls. But talking about playing live, you made me realize that it's an interesting thing that we do because we have an audience as part of it. The folks who do this, nobody really watches them doing it. Right? But this thing that we do without an audience it's fun to play music with yourself as well, but it's sort of all about having an audience. It's that interaction that you can't get without an audience. So we've been audience starved for a year now.
Yeah.
If you will.
Although the live
hoping to get it
shows.
back to on track.
Yeah. Although the live shows, there's a lot of interacting. You wouldn't believe. People talking to each other and people saying compliments and making requests, and it's really nice. I always go back and read all the messages, which I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in to our live shows. Much appreciated.
I imagine it's pretty hard though to play guitar, sing, and read all the comments.
It is.
So I imagine a lot of the song requests go under the radar because it's very hard to see. Like
Yeah.
you can see.
Well, it's hard to get them all.
She reads them after.
I do them
She
afterwards.
goes through afterwards.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was talking about live performances, not Facebook or
Oh,
online. I meant real people. That's what we really want.
Yeah.
The internet thing is
Yeah.
okay, but I much prefer to do it the way it's always been traditionally. You play music and people listen and sing along and whatever.
Not a huge fan of live music compared to anything else. So.
There's no better feeling than walking out on a stage and connecting to an audience. There's no feeling like it, and we do surely miss it a lot.
Okay. So fingers crossed now we can get back to that. And
Absolutely,
Great.
absolutely.
And lessons too.
Yeah.
It's been the private lesson thing is dry right up. Nobody wants. I shouldn't say nobody. I'm not experiencing people wanting to do lessons at this time. It was going well before the COVID thing kicked in as far as doing private lessons.
Yeah.
And now there's really nobody.
you got your hands tied. There's not much.
Yeah, and it's an odd situation to be in, but I start advertising again and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Well, let's hope that you can hit the ground running now and get your
Yeah.
best back on the go.
Spring, let's go.
Yeah, and our last summer we had a really good summer lined up of shows and festivals and stuff like that, and it kind of got all swept away with COVID. So, we're trying to get our career going here in Newfoundland. We did the scene in Calgary for many years, and now we're trying to get known here. So I look forward to being able to get to different places and areas to perform, right? To get known.
Okay, I noticed you have a nice few singles based around Newfoundland, so I can
Yes.
tell that you're very passionate about this province and you want to create
Absolutely.
music for the people to enjoy.
Yeah, I just put out my new single. It's called My Newfoundland Shores, which we're going to perform for you today.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and that's available on iTunes and Spotify and all the online stores.
Awesome. So before we get into live performance, I just had kind of one last question. So when you two do perform your shows, I've never witnessed one, so I don't know much about it. I was hoping you can kind of walk me through it. So do you do mostly original songs or covers or kind of a mixture of both? Or
We do a mixture. We do some originals, and usually Bruce will do a couple fiddle songs, and I'll play rhythm and he'll do fiddle. and yeah, and a variety of hopefully what the crowd will like, you know. Sometimes we'll pick and choose and
Popular covers.
yeah, like stuff that will work.
And I'm assuming it's all genres. You're not afraid to tackle anything. Or...
Country, classic rock, a little bit traditional from this area.
Yeah, and always a few
Those are the big
jokes.
spots.
Always a few jokes involved, and you know, a few stories, right?
That's what makes performances good, right? You want
Yeah.
them to be fun, and yeah. So, well, I really appreciate you coming on, and I would love to hear your new song. So,
Absolutely, we
Cool.
can do that for you.
all right, everybody, we're in for a real treat here today.
Are you ready?
Oh, I think I'm ready. I'm off to my Newfoundland shores, a wild, rugged place that so many adore. Music and laughter wherever you go. There's no place quite like my Newfoundland home. Always a meal on the table and a hot cup of tea on the go, where family and friends come together, share stories of loved ones we know. So many places to travel and so many things to explore. So many people to visit and take a long walk by the shore. I'm off to my Newfoundland shores, a wild, rugged place that so many adore. Music and laughter wherever you go. There's no place quite like my Newfoundland home. My Newfoundland home is where I belong. This is my story to tell. I'm on my way and I'm proud to say I'm coming home, home to stay. And I'm off to my Newfoundland shores, a wild, rugged place that so many adore. Music and laughter wherever you go. There's no place quite like my Newfoundland home. Music and laughter wherever you go. There's no place quite like my Newfoundland home.
Good clap now, I guess. Wow, that was absolutely
Well, thank
fantastic.
you, Luke.
Yeah, no, Sandy and Bruce, I really appreciate you coming on here today. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I believe I don't only speak for myself, but I speak for absolutely everybody from on the board of the Diamond House that they would absolutely love to have you back here. And thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. Sandy
See you
and
later,
Bruce.
guys.
See you,
Take
everybody.
care.